Welcome in to another bonus episode of Hockey Inside Out. Cole Caufield is currently the leading goal scorer for the Montreal Canadiens. Will he remain the leading goal scorer by the end of the year? His last goal was Jan 15th in a 2-1 win over the New York Rangers. The two guys who could catch up to him, Nick Suzuki and Josh Anderson.
Well, for me, if you had asked me a month and a half ago that Josh Anderson would have 21 goals, I would have said there's no chance of that. But I'll tell you, the way this guy is playing right now, he has really impressed me. And, you know, if he makes good of the opportunity that he's been given each and every game, he might just be the one to, catch him. So if you're going to give me a name, I'm gonna say Josh Anderson might get up into the running of tying Cole for 26 goals.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Rick. I just think that speaking with Josh after one of the recent games, he's so happy to still be with the Montreal Canadiens after the trade deadline. He didn't want to move. He's happy to be here. He's learning to play a different style of game under Marty St. Louis. He's getting all kinds of scoring chances. If he could finish his breakaways, he'd already have 26 goals. He's had I don't know how many breakaways in the last few games, and he just hasn't been able to score. But I think it's one of those things that once he gets one on a breakaway, he'll get more. I think it's in his head right now when he's getting a breakaway, like, oh no, I'm going to miss again. His career high is 27 goals. He had that back when he was with Columbus. I think if I had to bet on somebody to do it, I think it would be Josh. And Nick Suzuki's more of a playmaker guy, not the goal scorer. But Josh Anderson, it would be. I think in the back of his mind, he probably is thinking he'd like to match or beat his career best season for goals, and I think he has a good chance. But what's really interesting, at the point of this taping, Cole's got 26 goals, Suzuki has 21, Anderson has 21. After that, it drops off to 12 with Kirby Dach. It's like, moving forward, the team needs to get more goal scorers, and Kirby Dach's hurt also, so nobody else has more than 12 goals after those guys.
Yeah, it's not the best scene for goal scorers in Montreal, but I'm going to be boring and agree with both you guys that if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Josh Anderson. He's just taken on such a leadership role in the last few weeks here. I mean, maybe even 2 months. He's diversified his game quite a bit. Even in the Colorado game in the first period where the Canadiens were playing terrible, one thing I noticed was Josh Anderson creating lanes for himself in the neutral zone to create zone entries. And I was like, wow, that's new for Josh Anderson. Usually he's like head down, straight ahead, but no, he was alternating his speed, creating passing lanes for his line mates to hit him at the blue line and enter the zone with speed still. He's shoulder checking a lot more. He's making some decent passes, and that opens up space for him to shoot more. Nick Suzuki obviously has the same number of goals, but Suzuki, I don't know if he's nursing an injury or something right now, but he seems very hesitant to shoot. He only has 3 shots in his last 4 games. He's had plenty of opportunities to score, but he hasn't really been taking them. I don't know what's in his head right now. I don't know if he's just looking for Harvey Pinard or other line mates to finish for him, and he's just in playmaker mindset. I feel like the rest of his game has actually been very good, but from a shooting perspective, I'd like to see Suzuki shoot more. Even on the power play, his patented shot just isn't there. He doesn't have that zip on his wrist shot that we're used to, so I don't think this is the year that Suzuki passes Caufield, but Josh Anderson has a really good chance to do it.
It wouldn't shock me, Andrew, if Suzuki is playing through some kind of an injury, because he's the only guy on the team who's played every game. He's the only guy on the team who played every game last season, so there's no way he's at 100% at this point in the season. But I think a lot of Canadiens fans underestimate the value Josh Anderson has on this team. You go back to that Colorado game when they were getting smoked, and in the third period, he was pissed off. Like he almost dragged that team back into the fight to get them to not give up on that game. He was running over guys. He was throwing hits. He was pissed off. He was, you remember the last game with Dominic Ducharme's coaching career with the Canadiens when Josh Anderson, they lost, I think it was 7-1. He says he was embarrassed, and it wasn't fun coming to the rink. And it looked like he was embarrassed that game against Colorado. He was like, guys, we're not rolling over here. We're not dying. And I think he's underestimated his value on this team, I think, by a lot of fans, and what he brings on the ice, what he brings off the ice. He's a leader in the room. His teammates like him, and he loves playing for the Montreal Canadiens, and he loves playing for Marty St. Louis.
And exactly. So I was just going to say, you got to give full credit to Martin St. Louis. who has given Josh the opportunity, more opportunity to play in different situations now. I think that his ice time has increased, both power play and penalty killing, to the point where he has earned that chance to play in those situations. And the relationship that he has with the coach is one of, you give me a chance, I'm going to show you what I can do. And I think this is really a classic example that he's being used in many different situations and taking full advantage of it. And as I said, is a much different player from what we saw a couple months ago.
I was going to bring up the point, guys. What if Cole Caufield didn't get hurt? Are we talking 45 goals maybe at this point, or nearing 45 goals at this point in the season?
Oh, I think for sure. I think he would have hit 40 and making a push for 50. 50 is a big number, but yeah, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't have scored 40. He kept scoring all season. It wasn't like he had any major droughts or goal scoring droughts. The kid knows how to score goals.
He's a natural, pure goal scorer, and I think one of the biggest positives from this season for Canadiens fans is realizing that last year with Cole Caufield was not a flash in the pan. It wasn't just a hot scoring streak. That just is who he is. He's a guy who finds mesh.
Obviously, he's the real deal. He knows how to score. That's instinct, not taught, and that's not going to go away.
I'll make a bold statement here to end off this topic, guys. If this team is healthy and fully loaded, we don't know who they're going to acquire. They might bring in some reinforcements for the forward position moving towards the offseason. I think they could have 5 players at 20-plus goals next season if they're healthy. Would you agree with that, yes or no?
Need to see what the roster is. I mean, Connor Bedard might be one of those guys, the way things are going right now with them dropping in the standings.
Well, we'll find out if they do or not, but right now, Josh Anderson could be the goal-scoring king for the Montreal Canadiens if he's able to surpass the goal mark of 26 that Cole Caufield set 2 months ago. And we'll see what they do in the final 14 games of the regular season. Don't forget to submit your questions and comments here on Hockey Inside Out. And check out the YouTube page for all of the episodes for Hockey Inside Out. And sign up for the newsletter at MontrealGazette.com/newsletters for Hockey Inside Out. For bonus content and full episodes, head on by Hockey Inside Out. On behalf of Rick, Stu, and Andrew, wish you a great week. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.